This is beautiful East Meadow, dead center in Nassau County, 38,000 people, one school district. Here's what it actually costs to live here. In East Meadow, a ranch that needs work is in the mid 700s, the same ranch. Updated starts at 8. A split that needs work is $850. Updated 9. Same town, same schools, sometimes the same block. The difference is condition, and almost nobody prices it correctly when they start looking. I live here, I've sold houses in this town for 21 years, and I'm going to walk you through the whole ladder. East Meadow is a hamlet in the town of Hempstead, not a village. That matters, and I'll come back to it. It sits dead center in Nassau County. Westbury to the north, Uniondale to the west, Levittown to the east, plus Merrick and Belmore to the south. Hempstead Turnpike runs straight through the middle of it, and the Meadowbrook Parkway runs down the western edge. Now, East Meadow has no train station of its own. That sounds worse than it is. You're about 10 minutes to Merrick if you're heading south, or 10 minutes to Hicksville if you're heading north. That's a short drive, making the commute easy, and Hicksville is one of the busiest stations on the whole system, which means high frequency throughout the day. You're not standing on a platform for 40 minutes waiting for the next train to pull in. You'll need a parking permit at those lots, and non-residents can get them. Call the station's town for current pricing. It changes, and I'd rather you get the real number than my guess. Driving to Midtown is roughly 40 minutes with no traffic, which is a sentence that means very little at 7:30 on a Tuesday morning. Most of East Meadow went up in the post-war years. Ranches, splits, high ranches, expanded capes, and colonials, a lot of which started life as something smaller. Quick note on basements, since people ask, East Meadow homes have them. That's the norm for Nassau, so it isn't a selling point, so much as an expectation being met. The one place it's worth knowing is if you're also looking at Levittown next door. Levitt built on slab, no basements anywhere in the whole developments. So the boiler and chimney end up in the kitchen, and the original heating coils are in the concrete. Different animal. Here's the part that actually matters, and it's more granular than most people expect. There are two things setting the price: what kind of house it is and what condition it's in. Miss either one and your budget is wrong. Ranch that needs work, mid 700s. This is the entry point in East Meadow. It's a real house on a real block, and it needs a kitchen, baths, or both. Updated ranch starts at 800. Same house, work already done. Split that needs work, $850. Colonial that needs work, also $850. Those two land in the same place, which is worth knowing. At that number, you are choosing between a split and a colonial on layout, not on budget. Updated split starts at 900. Updated colonial starts at 950. New construction, $1.5 million and up, and it's always a colonial. Builders don't put up ranches or splits here. If you want new, that's the only door, and there's no cheaper version of it. Step back and look at that. Essentially, the entire resale market in this town lives in a band from the mid 7s to just under $1 million. That's tight. Then there's a cliff, a $550,000 gap. Specifically when you look at an updated colonial and new construction with nothing in between. The other thing that falls out of the ladder, condition is worth somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000 depending on the house type. So a ranch that needs work at $750 and an updated split at $900 are $150,000 apart. And whether renovating closes that gap depends entirely on the specific house. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you spend $140 and end up with a nicer ranch, not a split. Two caveats, because I don't want you holding these numbers too tightly. These are starting points, not fixed rules. A corner lot, a bigger piece of property, or proximity to Hempstead Turnpike moves things either direction, and needs work covers a lot of ground, from cosmetic to structural. Get the specific house evaluated. Let me put real numbers on that. Everything I'm about to describe is on the market right now as of August 2026. A ranch on the market at $800,000, 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, with about 1,435 square feet. It was built back in 1951, sitting on a standard 60 by 100 lot. 35 days on market. That's your updated ranch tier, right at the number. Here's a split at $948. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 1,821 square feet, built in 1953, same size lot, 16 days on market, moving faster. So for about $150,000 more, you're getting roughly 400 more square feet and an extra half bath. And notice it's moving faster, 16 days versus 35. And new construction, just under $1.5 million. It features 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, 4,875 square feet. Brand new on the same 60 by 100 lot as the other two. That one's been on the market 120 days. The resales are moving in 2 to 5 weeks. The $1.5 million tier is not. That tells you something about where the demand actually is in this town. One more thing worth pulling out of those 3. Per square foot, the resales are running $520 to $560. The new construction is closer to $310 a foot because you're buying volume. It's a much bigger house, so the per foot number drops even though the price triples. Don't let price per square foot alone tell you what's a deal. Across all of it, you're about $541 a square foot, and homes are moving in roughly 26 days. That last number is the one to pay attention to. This is not a market where you get to think about it over the weekend. Same story with sewers. East Meadow is fully sewered, no cesspools. That's true across most of Nassau, so it's not a reason to pick this town over another one here. Where it does matter is if you're weighing Nassau against Suffolk. Plenty of Suffolk is still on cesspools and septic, and a failing system is a 5-figure surprise at inspection. If your search spans both counties, factor that in. The median annual property tax bill in East Meadow is about $12,792. Say that out loud, because it's roughly $1,100 a month on top of your mortgage, and I watch buyers leave it out of the math constantly. One thing that works in your favor: East Meadow is a hamlet, not an incorporated village. There's no separate village tax stacked on top. That's a real difference from Garden City or Floral Park, and it's worth a few thousand a year. 2 things to do before you make an offer anywhere in Nassau. Look up the actual tax bill for that specific address, not the estimate on the listing, the real number on the county site. They are not always the same, and the listing is not the one you'll be paying. And know that Nassau lets you grieve your assessment every single year. It costs nothing to file. Most people never do it. Essentially, all of East Meadow is East Meadow Union Free School District. That includes the Salisbury section. Salisbury is still East Meadow schools, and people get confused about that constantly. There's a small handful of homes at the edge that feed Levittown, and it's a short enough list that I wouldn't organize your search around it. But confirm the district for the specific address anyway. That's true anywhere on Long Island, and it takes 2 minutes. I'm not going to tell you whether the district is good. That's not my call to make, and it's not a question with one answer. New York State publishes a report card for every district. Graduation rates, program offerings, spending per pupil, the whole thing. Look at it yourself and go tour the buildings. Links in the description. Eisenhower Park is the thing that defines East Meadow. 900 plus acres, 3 golf courses, aquatic center, ball fields, a big pond, the Veterans Memorial, and the summer concert series. It's a county park, so it draws from all over Nassau, which is both the appeal and the traffic. Hempstead Turnpike is your commercial spine. It is not a charming, walkable downtown, and I'm not going to pretend it is. It's a working commercial corridor. Everything is on it. Nothing about it is quaint. Nassau University Medical Center is here, which is a full-service hospital in your own hamlet. If you've ever needed one at 2 in the morning, you understand why that's on the list. For food, check out Borelli's, Margarita's Cafe, and Pietro's. Not a comprehensive list, just 3 I'd actually recommend. 3 things: the condition gap. Most buyers walk in with a number and a house type and no plan for condition. Then they find out that the split they want is 900 updated, and the one they can afford at 850 needs a kitchen and 2 baths. That's the number 1 reason searches here run longer than people expect. Figure out early whether you're a renovation buyer or a turnkey buyer, because in East Meadow, that's a $50,000 to $100,000 decision, and it changes which rung you're shopping on. Hempstead Turnpike traffic. It's the main east-west artery for this part of the county, and it carries that load. Houses close to it trade at a discount for a reason. Drive the road to the house at rush hour before you commit. Open permits. This is the expensive one, and it's why I flagged the expansions earlier. 70-year-old houses that have been dormered, extended, and finished basemented over 3 owners. A lot of that work was never closed out with the town of Hempstead. You find out a contract or worse at the closing table, and then you're paying for it or renegotiating with no leverage and a clock running. If you're selling here, pull your permit history now, not when you list. Now. It takes months to resolve, and finding out late costs you the price or the deal. If you're in the mid-sevens and you're willing to do a kitchen and a bath, East Meadow is one of the better entry points left in central Nassau. That's a real house on sewers in one district with no village tax on top. At 8, you're buying an updated ranch, and you're done. At $850, you're picking between a split and a colonial that both need work, same money, different layout. Pick the one you want to live in. At $9 to $950, you're in updated splits and colonials. And if you want new construction, it's a colonial and it's $1.5 million. There's no in-between in this town, and I'd rather you know that now than after 2 months of looking for one. And if you're commuting to Penn, the 10-minute drive to the station is a fair trade for what you're not paying in a village tax. Get the permit, park, get on the train. Next in this series is Levittown, same post-war build-out, different tax picture, different school district right next door. If you're looking in East Meadow, get on my East Meadow list. When something comes up here, including the ones that never make it to the portals, you hear about it first. Links below, takes 20 seconds. And if you're on the other side of this and thinking about selling, the valuation link is down there too. That's a real number from someone who lives here, not an automated estimate. Will Esslinger, HomeSmart Premier Living Realty. 21 years on Long Island, and I live in East Meadow.